There is nothing which is wrong with the country that a new government cannot fix. It is time for a new start, a fresh beginning, new direction, people-centered leadership. That's why Team Unity Dominica introduces the Clean Slate, a new political direction for the current political era. The Clean Slate, an idea built on new and progressive energies based on what is best for Dominica and Dominicans. The Clean Slate, the platform for a new and progressive political coalition. The Clean Slate, uniting the partisan colors with a message of renewal and hope.
Good evening, everybody. Sister Petra is muted. Go ahead, Petra.
Good evening, good evening. Look, I forget how to use my microphone. Everybody, welcome to yet another episode of TUD Clean Slate program. We are happy to have you here with us this evening. And tonight we have with us myself, which is Petra Carbon George. I am hosting, and my co-host is Mr. Carlos Charles. We're also going to have later in our show our General Secretary, Mr. Bruno, will join us in a while. And we just want to tell everybody thanks for taking the time out to listen to us and what we propose. Tonight, we are going to discuss what TUD stands for. And we, if you really read our live programs, you will understand that T in TUD stands for team, U stands for unity, and D for Dominica. And right now, let us just ask our co-host how was his week so far.
Oh, it's been a very hectic week thus far. Very from work, get myself ready for the program. And matter of fact, I just got in a couple minutes ago. Just getting ready for the program, and I'm here, ready to go. Let's
Glad
go.
to have you. Glad to have you tonight. We just want to shout out one of our members that had birthday yesterday. She know who she is. We want to share our love to her and wishing her all the best. We also want to say good night to our Princess Ava, and we hope that school is going well, and we hope that everything is well at home as well. And to Dominicans, both in Dominica and abroad, we just want to wish you the best. For those who lost a loved one over the last week, we want to say that we want to sympathize with you. We know losing a loved one is never easy, but we want to just let you know that we, Team Unity, we think of those who are going through the loss, and we want to ensure that you know that you could have a shoulder to cry on. All right, Mr. Charles. So when we speak about unity, Mr. Charles, in Team Unity, what was your emphasis for the unity when you discovered that this is what you wanted to name the political party that you wanted to stay head?
Well, it wasn't just a meeting. Good evening, Professor Bruno. It wasn't just a meeting. It was a discussion among mutual friends, and we were thinking that Dominica needs the idea of a team, people who are pulling in one direction, people who are unified, people who are looking to do things differently and answer the call that Dominicans are making. So this was the part of the genesis of the reasoning for me reaching out to Mr. Bruno. And hey, we need to make a political party. Yeah, I think you started on the journey there, but you were on the right path, but you just needed to tweak a bit, and we think that we want to work with you. That is right here. He can confirm and add what I may have forgotten, and so good night.
Good night, Mr. Bruno.
Hey,
We
what's going
still
on?
have We good. It looked like you had a really, really hectic day.
Oh yeah, man! It's the end of semester, and you know how that goes. You know, with grading and everything else. So yeah, I have had some real long days and nights, and the next couple of weeks is going to be similar. You know. So yeah, but I'm here on time to be
Okay.
part of the conversation, and I'm really,
It's
really
nice
happy to
to
be.
have you.
Yeah,
It's
man. Looking forward
always
to
a
it.
pleasure to have you.
No worries, man. I'm here for the cause. Any question, any issues, any concerns, just let me see how best I can deal with it. I realize Mr.
Yes,
Charles
we will just
speaking about unity.
yes, we
Yes,
are speaking about unity tonight. I saw Mr. Charles in an article on Dominica News Online, I think it was, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Speaking with other political party leaders or members on the issue of unity. And so I thought tonight would be a good time for us to speak about the reason why the political movement has unity as one of its names in there. And Mr. Charles was just giving how they came about that unity. And
it's
so we know also that Mr. Bruno has been speaking a lot about unity from since I met him. He trying to get the different political bodies to unite and be one. So this is nothing new to Mr. Bruno. And so tonight I'm just going to ask Mr. Bruno, where do you see Dominica if not united?
Nowhere. Certainly nowhere, especially at this juncture. In fact, I don't even like using the term unity, the concept unity anymore, because it's been overused and abused. And right now, people who are using it, I wish them well. I hope that they actually mean it now. But at the time when we presented it to them, they were not interested in uniting. They were talking about their party, their party. Now I think they formed their party and talking unity. So it's just ironic that unity has made a full circle. And I think the meaning is lost. I'm not saying that I'm the only person who knows and who understands unity, but the journey that I have traveled over the past 3 years, almost 4 years, trying to not over four, beyond that, because when I was part of a major party in the strategy of that party, well, I was supposed to be, they never listened. But I used to talk about that same unity stuff, the amalgamation, the coalesce, the building, you know, the base and stuff like that. And people felt that was a bad word in politics. Now it appears to be a good word, and I'm happy that people are embracing it. And I'm hoping that they could find a home in our movement, because our movement was built and named for unity. Carlos did a good job explaining. I listened to what he said, and Carlos is right. And there are a lot of people who believe, Sister Petra, that I was the one who came and decided I'm going to do my thing. No, I really had very little part to play. When Carlos called me, I still didn't take Carlos on seriously until some of the people with money and interest called me and say, boy, that is a good way to go. And I say, well, Carlos, I think I got confirmation from other people that I should be part of what you're doing. So our team was built, and the agenda is based on unity. The constitution is based on Dominica and Dominica first. And we are here not to promote a party, but a movement to unite forces to help take Dominica in a different direction. Because if we don't, the incumbent party will continue to be the government of Dominica. In fact, any one party in Dominica now does not have what it takes to take that party out of office. It has to be a concerted, united effort of the best minds to come together dislodge that party. And I have been saying so for the past 5 years. And I hope people are actually, well, I realize people are actually responding now. But now that they're responding and talking, they must remember that we have a home for unity called Team Unity Dominica. And if they have any doubts, people can read our constitution, read the articles, read what we are about. And if you really read and understand, you'll have no choice but to say, you know what, these guys had started it. Let's work with them. Let's work with everybody. Let's bring all sides together. We already have a platform, and let's use the platform to build moving forward. That's what I would hope would be the case.
Mr. Charles, Mr. Bruno has spoken about unity, but I remember the last election. where you had a manifesto, and I'm not sure if you can remember. Obviously, maybe you can. Unity being the glue of what your manifesto was about. And if you have your manifesto with you, I would like you to just put it on the screen so that we could show up the public what the manifesto look like. So we're not just talking about unity only tonight. It was This was 2022, the manifesto for Team Unity.
The only party, the only party with a manifesto. That
And you see, it's
not,
right written right there. Unity for progress.
not
Our
even,
youth, our future.
yeah, not even the Labour Party, which was the incumbent party of how many years, had a manifesto. We were the only political party that presented a plan in the form of a full color published manifesto. And some people do not like it when we say that. Some people didn't like that we contested the election, but we got over 100 votes. After 2 months of operation, with no money spent on a campaign, no development, no meetings, nothing, just put our name on ballots, and over 100 Dominicans decided to cast because of our manifesto and our plans at the time. I tell you, next election is going to be much, 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 much better. I can almost feel it already. So you're right. I'm happy that you asked Carlos to show the manifesto. I hope you can delve into it a little bit because there's some good stuff in there.
Yes, there's some good stuff in there. And I was hoping that Mr. Charles would show us the next page of the manifesto, that we could go through it briefly. And we will also make the manifesto available for others to view on our Facebook page, and so that people can take their time to read and understand the plans Team Unity have for Dominica. So we have Green is the Future, and Dominican new economy is planted in agriculture. Like we always say, one of our main strategy for bringing Dominica to the next level and is agriculture. Because one thing we understand is that people must eat. You don't must buy. It's not necessary that you buy a car, but you must eat. And so we believe if we push agriculture to the next level, we will help Dominicans to become independent, where they have their own money to spend, that they don't have to rely on others.
Yeah, so yes, I continue to say that this movement was the only party uh, that had a plan, as Alex so rightly said a while ago, for Dominica. And it's not a manifesto that was only available online. So yes, it is online for persons to view. It'll be recirculated to all social media platforms again, so persons can better get access to it. But it has been online for the better part of over a year, available for persons to view, and also in print form. So we had printed copies of the manifesto distributed to persons as well. So,
and anybody who wants a printed copy can also get a printed copy as well.
yes. So we presented copies to other persons in the political spectrum. As a matter of fact, I think the Prime Minister made mention of our manifesto. So they realize that there is a party with a plan. There's a party with a plan.
With a serious plan.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember the Prime Minister speaking about our manifesto, saying that he sees some good things in there, that things that he would have a closer look at as well. So, I mean, you don't get people talking about your work if your work is not at least worth speaking about. We're not saying that we in any way, shape, or form support his all his work. I mean, there are certain things that he do we support, and if something is good, you support it. But he's a rival, and he was at least gracious enough to admit that we had a manifesto which was worth reading. So that was good. I applaud him at the time when he said that. I have not seen him implement anything. So although I have heard a lot about agriculture. So I guess he took it that from us, the green is the future, and the economy is planted in agriculture. These are our phrases that we place in our plan that people are now. I mean, almost everybody now talking about agriculture, 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 agriculture. But
Yes.
here is the proof that we presented that as the way forward over 2 years ago.
Next page. Let's present. Yeah. We in the last program, so last month, I think that we spoke about what we stand for. We stand for Dominica. We contend for Dominica. We provide for people a lifeline. So people can watch it and take their time and read it over. We already spoken about most of the facts already, and we are a people's party.
Yeah, I'm hearing a dog. I don't think it's my dog, but I don't have a dog in my office. So. Is it yours, Carlos?
No, I think it's my dog that misbehaving itself.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. No problem. It's all part of the game.
I thought it was Charlie Bruno.
No.
Yeah, people passing up and down, and it want me to know people passing up and down.
Yeah, well, dogs will do that for you. But that is important in terms of the highlights, the bullet points that are presented here in terms of what the party represents. And as Carlos said, this has been out, and again, it's a good thing, Carlos, that you are reintroducing the manifesto, the plans, especially in the face of these new comments of unity and agriculture. So here we go. This has been out. No matter how much you try to suffocate a light in the darkness, light will always come through in the darkness.
So this is why we presented when we presented ourselves, and we said why we were contesting. We were contesting because we want to stand for the people, and the bullet points are there. So probably if you're viewing,
maybe you should read some of them, Carlos, because maybe some people are listening, they're not reading. Some people maybe cannot even read. You never know. So read about a few, maybe 10 of them. Let them get it. Because people might be working and not watching the screen, so let them get a taste of what it is that we said, why we are standing, why we are contesting, why we are running. Because some people believe that we should not have contested. And it was never a wise idea, Sister Petra. It was
you cannot give absolute power to one person. Because then once you let them think they have absolute power, that is chaotic, because they get to think that nobody interested in contesting or nobody want to demonstrate of anything that is being done wrong or so you always have to contest whether you win or not, to let the people know, hey, there are people who still think that they can make a difference in Dominica, and you cannot give up that hope that somebody else can make a difference in Dominica. And I'm glad that Team Unity contested in 2022. I think it was a great decision, and most people did not understand the realities of not contesting. And I think it's starting to sink in now, the realities of not contesting and the chaos that it caused in Dominica.
Oh, that is quite right. I mean, irreparable damage that will take a long time right now. Right now. Who is the leader of the opposition in Dominica?
Good question.
I mean, I can answer it because I understand how the system works in terms of the government institution. Because the person who is supposedly sitting in parliament as leader of the opposition is not leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition, I believe it was said, resigned, but there was nobody to replace the leader. You cannot have a government without an approved, confirmed, legitimate leader of the opposition. Because the two people who were elected in the opposition did not agree on this one. In fact, there were other things trying to create a support of people who were not elected, and it remained silent. So I guess the president has not acted, but the president should have told the lady, Jesma, that you are the leader of the opposition until you can give me somebody who is the leader approved by both of you. So technically, she is. She
with
is the
no
leader of the
opposition.
opposition. But all of this quagmire came about because of the former major opposition party chose the best thing to do is not to contest an election that was called by a prime minister, maybe prematurely, maybe in a tricky way, but he called it. So you have to find a way to strategize, rally around he calling it, and beat him. That's how you take parties out of power. Free elections, this thing about stoning and protests and violence, that's not me. That's not us. And I think the incumbent party is very beatable if you put your act together. And it was,
Yeah.
to me, Petra and Carlos, the very worst political decision that any party in the Caribbean had taken. And it will take a long time for them to come off that decision. It was a very poor decision. And I'm happy that as a team we stepped up. We got over 100 votes, and I'm proud of that because we represented Dominica's democracy. We didn't
That's
win a
right.
seat. We didn't win. Hopefully, the next time we might win a seat or two or three, or win the election. Who knows? But God help people who help themselves. You cannot be too upset for you to realize that an entire country must wait until you are ready to contest for them. That's not how politics goes. And I'm
I, I
sorry.
think I think one of the reasons that happened is because they did not understand the stakes for the shareholders in Dominica. I think when people start seeing government as a business and not as a personal issue, we will tend to make different decisions
Yeah. It's not about your
because it
party,
is
man.
a business.
It's not about
Yes,
your
it is
party.
about
It's
the
about the
people.
people. It's the people's business. It's not how your
Yeah,
party is going to look. It's not if you're going to win or lose. Man, go fight. That's what parties do. They fight to win. You
yeah,
cannot just say, I'm not going to contest because I vex. You shouldn't call it and you had promised to do that. No, man, that is child play. Politics and representation of people is big thing. And you got to be stronger than the little emotional thing sometimes and say, in the interest of our people, that's what we're going to be doing. You change course. Look at when the UWP called a snap election on Labour Party in 2000. What did Rosie do? They say Rosie was cut off his pants down, and that was true. But Rosie decided to say, you know what, we're there in this. Let's go make something happen. He got
yeah,
people. He picked up Mr. Skerritt. He picked up Vince. He picked up people. He did what he had to do. And look
yeah.
today, the party he put in power is still in power. Again, mainly because our opposition fraternity had not done what we needed to do to unite the forces. That's why Team Unity Dominica is here today. Not to destroy any party, but to work to help the opposition parties to say, guys, that is the way. And our manifesto has the ideas of doing it, the plans for doing it. And all we are saying is let's talk to everybody. Don't just pretend as if one set must be involved. Let everybody discuss. Let's see who has the best people from all the teams and let the best people run for Dominica. And if we run for Dominica as the best people, we are going to win for Dominica. And that's what we are saying.
Exactly. That's what I believe, and I believe if we really, really mean unity, we'll put away our selfish pride. We'll put away our it's about me and put on that it's about the people attitude and or mindset and work together by really including others, not just by saying we want to be unified, no, by actually working and showing the people how we include others in the circle to ensure that we the people of Dominica have a better way of living for the future.
Okay, so in presentation of our manifesto, we had a lot of bullet points saying why we chose to contest.
Yes,
We said that the spirit of the people is broken and we need sober intervention, not loud noise and fighting and wheelie. We need to sit down at the table and plan how are we going to fix Dominica. Because
that's
after careful analysis and consideration of all the circumstances surrounding the elections of 2022, we decided to contest for a few reasons, and I will list at least five. By
Mhm.
contesting, we are standing for Dominica. By contesting, we are contending for Dominica and not ourselves. By contesting, we are providing our people a lifeline because our people have lost hope.
Yes.
By contesting, we are providing the people an option because they are indeed asking for an option. By
Yeah.
contesting, we are providing the people with a voice because a lot of people want to talk, but
And not any voice, a unified voice.
right. By contesting, we are serving as watchdogs for democracy. That's a very important point there
Yeah.
because you cannot just decide to turn your back on standing up for your people and not providing them with a viable option and give the government of the day carte blanche to do as they wish when you can provide them with a difference. And this is why I believe Team Unity opened the door for a lot of others to now decide to get involved in politics.
Yeah.
Because
I believe that too. And I want to read the last three bullets in the presentation. By contesting, we are offering hope. And we offered hope in 2022, and we are still offering hope as today. Because we want to let the people know there is still hope. And we, Team Unity, is putting our life out there. We're putting ourselves up there to offer hope for the people of Dominica. We are not callers. We are a people who care about other people and want to ensure that other people benefits from whatever we are getting in Dominica. So and then we say we are contesting because we show strength. Even if Team Unity went into contesting knowing that they may or may not get a vote, but they did
Exactly.
not say I am not going because people might not vote for me. They said we are going regardless. Even if nobody vote for us, we are going to contest. And that is what makes TUD stand out as a political party.
Petra, my concession speech was ready before the day of the election, you know.
Sorry, I don't want to laugh.
Imagine that.
I did not want to laugh. Honestly, Carlos had his concession speech written before election, before the votes were casted, because we know we were not going to win. And I mean, when Carlos tell me, comrade, no, captain, he called me captain. You have to write my concession speech. I say, what are you talking about? No, he said his speech about. So Carlos had his speech walking with him all around, Carlos going to play all about, and Carlos released his speech because we didn't expect to get not even a vote. We had no campaign event. We maybe had one meeting in Lapland, and then Labour Party passed through our meeting and disturbed our meeting. We never had a meeting in Marigot in Central, nowhere.
As a matter of fact, one of the opposition parties who said that they were not contesting the election at the time, they had a truck on the road
full time
campaigning against us.
Against us. So if you're campaigning against the other party that are going up, who are you campaigning for? You campaigning for Labour? Because it's two parties that are going. You campaigning against us, you're not going up. So you fixing the other person up. But listen to Petra, it wasn't easy, but it was fun. And at the end of the day, we got over 100 votes. I mean, you have no idea how that pleased our hearts. That over 100 Dominicans felt the need to leave their home, dress up like you, go take a thing and put an X by our party. So
remind us what the symbol was.
The symbol is the fork.
The fork, yeah. Not the garden fork, the eating utensil. Which symbolizes a lot. It's nourishing. It symbolizes a lot.
You eat with it and you grow with it because we use it for the garden and then we use it to eat. So either way.
Yep.
And I think that the courage the people of TUD took to go up in 2022, knowing the idea that you're going in knowing that you might not get a vote, but you still go in shows a lot. I'm
telling you, we didn't expect to get one vote, and we got over 100.
Especially, I went up in Marigot. I don't expect. I know I'm going to lose my deposit. I know that. But
Carlos, he put his name on the ballot. And Carlos maybe passed Marigot twice. The day of elections, Carlos was not in Marigot. Carlos was in La Plaine or somewhere. It was just symbolic. We just wanted to say, look, we're fighting for you. And Dominicans did actually cast votes for us. Can you imagine what's going to happen next time, Sister Petra? When we really step up with some money and maybe 21 candidates or whatever, how many candidates we have, with a very well-oiled machinery. Those who are laughing and saying, oh, you only get 100 votes, will realize that that seed that we sowed will grow into a big tree one day, and it will bear fruits. That's how you do politics. You don't do politics guaranteeing that you're going to win, and no, you do politics fighting. So that's
but
how
I do realize, I do realize, if time was given to really roll out the manifesto and get the people to understand the mindsets where the party was coming from, the party would have gotten more votes. The time was just short.
Petra, it was only 2 months, after we started, we registered the party. Was it in August? And then two months later, we have an election on our chest.
Yeah.
August or September, and we have
we didn't even have candidates as yet. We just had to go and get, make sure we at least consolidate a few, and let our candidates go tell them, guys, we have no money, but we're going to put your name on the ballot. And here's what you have to do. Maybe give them some like a gas money. And that was pretty much it. That was it. So again, I heard the criticism that we got 100 votes. That is a blessing. You cannot laugh at people who vote for you. That's 100 Dominicans.
But it shows democracy in the country just by having the 100 votes that did not go for the other party. It shows democracy is still in Dominica, that people are willing to vote for other people, and not because of popularity, but because they know that if you don't stand for yourself, nobody not going to stand for you.
Because Dominicans always wanted an option. Dominicans want an option.
And we are the second highest vote getter at the last Dominica general election. No matter how you twist it and turn it, Team Unity Dominica was the second runner-up at the last election. Well, the independent candidates.
Other people went for independent candidates.
Yes. But as a party, we were a party. We were the only other party.
As a party,
and we came second. Yeah. No party can claim that as a record. We can, because we did it. So no matter what criticism the other parties give, they got no vote last election. That's the facts. And we can stand there and say we stood up for. Look at the reasons we stood up for. Carlos, read 2 more in the center somewhere.
We are adding a fresh and progressive voice in the national political debates.
Amen.
We are responding to the demands of the people for better representation.
Amen. And there's more to go to that. So we had a very clear reason, and we also did a survey asking people what should we do and different questions, and the survey suggested in a strong way that we should contest. So the people wanted us to do it.
Yeah.
And that was that. Don't get me started here, guys.
Can you give us another page? Let us see what the manifesto was all about.
We were presenting our ministries.
Yes. So you will have 11 ministries.
Yes. 11 ministries.
So that's all that ministries that existing now, just for having ministry's sake, will be condensed.
Everything would be cut down, and Dominica's wage bill would have been significantly smaller.
Yes,
can you imagine? Carlos, can you imagine 11 constituencies carefully done? We to cover all the areas now that are being served by government. And again, is the way in which they were listed. And they are there. The government can take them and use them now if they want. But when we come in, we will implement those ministries. Carlos, can you call? I mean, because I you guys are younger than me, so you might be better than me. But call a few of the ministries. Let them hear how we planned and how we strategized.
The first one was the Ministry of Youth Participation, Housing, the Economy, Health, Wellness, Culture, and Agriculture.
You see, so we have agriculture in the ministry with youth, wellness, housing, health. And aren't these the key sectors in any country? Agriculture to us is on number one, you know.
Yeah.
So we're opening the baton with agriculture.
And we have the
Yeah.
young people participation in the agriculture because we want to
One,
ensure that we have them under one umbrella.
Exactly.
continuity.
Mhm.
Continuity. So we want the youth to drive the agricultural sector.
And then we
Bring
have
money
how,
into the country.
And
and
housing
then to,
in
Housing.
that.
yes, because we believe that everybody should have a home for them to sleep, for them to stay in, as for so that they can live for the next generation to come and have a better start.
Mhm. And we have the economy and health as well.
Yeah. Health and wellness, because if you don't have if people are not healthy, they cannot produce. So you need healthy people to grow production.
Yeah.
The second one is the Ministry of Indigenous Citizens, Gerontology, Diaspora, Dominican, New Citizens, Industry and Commerce, and Innovativeness and Indigenous Creations.
Yeah.
Again, well thought of, compacting a lot of things there. We do not say Kalinago affairs. What do we say,
Yeah.
Carlos? Indigenous what?
Indigenous
Ministry of
Citizens.
Indigenous
Indigenous
citizens.
Citizens.
Yeah, give some respect to our natives, our
Yeah.
indigenous people. They are indigenous citizens, not Kalinago affairs or whatever. You know, what does that really say? So we had serious plans. When we get there, we will do it for our original Dominicans, our indigenous citizens of Dominica. Give some respect to the name.
So, and the second ministry is all about people. As you see, we have diaspora Dominicans, because we believe that the people on the outside help our economy.
Mhm.
They help by sending in foreign exchange. We have people from the UK, US, Canada, Euro, sending in these monies via Western Union. Some is through mails to the people of Dominica, and we cannot exclude them. We want them to be inclusive in whatever we are doing in Dominica. And then we have the new citizens. These are people who newly turned 18 years. And so we want to let them know, hey guys, at the time you turn 18, you have to put your hands to the plow. You have to develop your country. You are now mature enough to manage affairs in the country. So we want to have include the young people turning 18 who are legally could vote and legally could do other transactions in our country. We don't want them to be left behind. And
Additionally, Petra, the persons who become citizens through investments. So
okay,
you have to have a ministry that would cater to them,
address, yes,
Ex-
address their needs,
Mhm.
and so on.
and,
Help.
and also collapse the money that they pay to become citizens as well. That money
yeah,
has to go through our escrow, nowhere else but into Dominica's account. Whatever arrangement we will make to promote our new citizenship program. I mean, this is not a bad program. Essentially, it is just that it is
no,
managed poorly. Because America has a program, Canada has a
yeah,
program. It is just that our program is a free for all. It appears, and we would put some structure in that. In fact, we would put emphasis on our first $1 billion from that program as a team would be placed in agriculture.
Agriculture.
You
that's
have
right,
renewed money. So we would actually create
exactly. A cash
sales
flow with that money so that it can reproduce after
to
its own
make more
self.
money.
That
Yes,
Exactly.
you cannot have free money because that is essentially free money for the country. But we have to make money for the country for
it have to
continuity.
become a multiplier. That's what it needs to
Yeah.
be, a multiplier where it can multiply itself.
It's the ABC
Correct.
of wealth, of
Yes, the
wealth
ABC of
generation.
wealth. Yes,
The money has to make money. You can't just give free money. So when you give free money to people and they're not doing anything with it productively other than just spending it, the money is dead. Throwing
that's right.
money in a problem where there's no money is making the problem worse. You have
That's
to
right.
create opportunities for people to make
Make.
money, not to just
And
receive free money.
exactly. So even if they receive it, they're going to use it to multiply. So tomorrow, the $1 you give them, they multiply it into $10. So now they
Amen.
can use that $10 and branch out that $10 into another $10 to multiply it again. And that's how you use your money. That's the right way to use money to develop, make wealth. If every time I went to a seminar about developing or how to become wealthy, this is the first thing they tell you. You have to have a form to multiply your dollar. You cannot just leave your dollar just lying there. It will not make money by just lying there.
But you don't also just take your money and spend your money. You invest your money, or you put
That's
your
right.
money in other places where you can get money. You
And you
know,
invest it in places where it can make money.
it can make money. The rich people, the wealthy people don't do that with their money. They use my money and our money to make more money for
That's right.
themselves.
You better believe it.
So that's our idea, not to
Yes,
give people stuff, but to give them opportunities to make stuff for themselves. Yeah. And
All
we,
right.
we're not against welfare. We just believe that it should be done properly. Carlos, go ahead.
that's right.
The third ministry was the Ministry of Gender, Social Security, and Welfare. Individuals with different abilities, the environment, lands, rivers, aquifers, forestries, parks, and recreations. So
I'm
you know
so
a lot of what went into that, you know.
I'm
Yeah,
so
a
proud.
lot
Yeah.
of
The consultant you hired there, Carlos, boy, he was worth his salt, man. He or she. I'm so proud.
That's a lot of work, a lot of it. And I
Like
believe
safeguarding
the
our
fact that
resources.
yeah, the fact that they responded to the information put in there, it showed that the hard work was worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, it certainly was. Because of everything, I mean, aquifers, everything is covered in there. And what we say again, Carlos, you said something about ministry of people with different abilities.
Different
Yes.
abilities. So not the disabled.
We don't regard anybody as being disabled. Disability is, to me, to
Different
us,
ability.
yeah, different abilities, man.
It's not inability.
It's the kind of, and you shouldn't call it anything other than people with different ability, the people who do things differently.
Yes.
And that's how we will. In fact, as a government, we are going to rename and rebrand the idea of Dominicans who do not have the natural ability to move
Quote
around.
unquote abilities to move about.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we will call them citizens with different abilities, not disabled Dominicans. No.
I know.
So,
So hence our ministry. Yeah.
Alex, there's this guy, a young man I know from up north. He had an accident and he lost one of his limbs. And this guy is living life more active than you know.
Yeah.
That guy is more active. And he's amazing. When I see him, I tell him, boy, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. The way you're doing things, you're better than me. I give him his full respect. So we have to embrace our people and not talk down to them or make things easier for them. And that would include creating policies which is for things such as our construction sector, so it enable things to be easier for them to get around and so on. And that's just on the surface,
Yeah.
just really scratching the surface. So I don't want to go too much into everything, but there's a lot that can be said about those things.
And Carlos, we are not also saying that you should pity people who have certain challenges. And there's no pity to say we're throwing a
No.
pity party for
No,
anybody.
no,
We're just
no.
embracing people for
With the
their
different abilities.
for different abilities. That's it.
Because one of these days I was watching earlier this year a young lady that on Emo News, I think in Goodwill, they does the baskets,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and she said that she could not see at all, and she have been doing baskets for so long.
Workshop for the
No,
blind. Yeah.
yes. So this is you see she have a different ability. I cannot do basket to save my life, and I have two eyes.
Exactly. Well, now
She have
for
the ability to, yeah. So
now
she
for
just have a different ability than me. I do something else. She does something else.
yeah. So that's where we are on that. That's where we are on that. Changing the way in which we do things and just revamping our landscape generally with the ministries that we will do when we are blessed enough to get into office.
And
So,
including everybody in the progress of Dominica.
Yep.
so
Those very
should I go into the other ministries? Because
I mean, we're not going to have time to do all of them, but I mean, I think we should continue already talking about the manifesto because this manifesto is still very current.
yes,
yeah.
So, but we can do a couple more until I don't know.
because the next one is the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Planning and Infrastructural Construction, Architectural Preservation, the Constitution and
Right.
Rights.
Yes, that's the legal aspect of Dominica.
Yep. And we have a ministry dealing with our constitution. No other
Yes.
party has thought about that. Yes, there's illegal, whatever, but this is not mentioned in the ministry because one of the things we will do is to have a constitutional review, which
Yes.
includes the election protocol and all of that.
And to have make sure that the constitution is always updated, and
Updated, yes.
because
Mhm.
like people always say, today you might make a decision but tomorrow it's not valid and it's not, so you have to change it to suit. So that's why we'll have that committee right there to ensure that the ministry deals with that and ensure that the constitution is always reviewed and updated with present time.
No, 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 Petra and Carlos, who wrote Dominica's constitution?
I'm not even sure.
I can't
I only read
remember.
the constitution. I never read who wrote it.
Who are our founding fathers and mothers?
I remember the flag was done by Dr. Bully.
That's
Um,
all I know. They didn't teach me in school. Sorry.
the the song national song by Christian.
Them
Yes.
Christians.
Well, the constitution. I can't remember that one. I can't remember that one.
Well, my dear brother and sister, Dominica's constitution was not written by any Dominican per se. People had input in the constitution, but that was handed down to us as a blueprint from England. And all the other countries in the Caribbean have something similar. If you look at Grenada, St. Lucia, all the constitution looks similar. Just take out Dominica and put
Yeah,
St. Lucia. So we had a
it had to
blueprint.
be.
We had a blueprint
Now I
that told us
understand why all of us have the similar
what I'm
constitution.
telling you. And no matter anybody tell you otherwise, there's nobody who can say I wrote it in Dominica or that person did. People had, of course, contributions to make, but a
Yeah.
blueprint came for all the former colonies. And that's why
Yeah, I
all
think that is
constitutions.
what it is. They were colonies before, and after they were gain independence, nobody's thought to change anything. They just continue with it
They
as
don't maintain
as
what
normal.
was there before.
So,
Yeah.
we need to create a constitution that follows the spirit of the Dominican people now. And under our
Yes.
team, we would totally review the constitution and apply it because it has been done in other parties, but they never
Yeah.
adopted the recommendations made for the revamp of the constitution. We would do that, and the constitution will represent our people, the spirit of Dominicans, right now.
That's right.
So the fifth ministry will be the Ministry of Human Development, Port, Ports and Maritime Affairs, Aviation, Disaster Management, Aeronautics, and Intelligent Life.
Moving with the future.
Yeah,
Voila,
man.
voila,
Yeah, man.
voila.
Yeah.
Exploration business. Dominica have enough land to create exploration centers.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that I think that ministry will really build our human resources in Dominica.
Oh,
Um, yeah, that's
that-
what it will really build our human resources in all aspects of life. And I see it mentioned everything, or imports and exports, places. We have aviation. We would be resourceful. This would really help people. We have so many human resources out of Dominica that head in these segments. So that would be a way to bring them back where they know they can get employment, gainful employment with the degrees that they have.
But our intention is to link up with NASA and to have Dominican scientists work from Dominica, trying to create and to get delve into new intelligent lives, you know.
Yes.
That to have, I mean, we have enough land, as I said here, to create safe spaces for those kind of explorations. And who says that we cannot go to the moon? I mean, the sky should be the limit of our country. So you work with agencies, SpaceX, whatever agencies, to have Dominican scientists, work with them to be trained, so we can have a scientist tomorrow that goes up to explore space. That is where we are.
That's where we will use our young people who has that drive. You know, in high school, there are a lot of people who wanted to try out new things, but because of our mindset back then, it could not happen. And we want to bring out the best of everybody in our country, because not everybody is made out for to be an accountant. Some people just want to understand the matters of life, and we are giving the avenue for everybody to be able to use their strength to develop Dominica.
My dear sister, there are currently students who are into robotics in Dominica.
That's right.
But what are we doing for those students when they are no longer students and they want to practically use those skills and talents that they use, even representing Dominica? How can they apply it to the everyday life and to make Dominica better? What are we doing?
We have to create avenues for these people.
Look it right there. Right.
That's why we have it right there. But I love the number 6, you know. I see a word there and I love it. Go ahead.
Let me say, Ministry of Education, Creole and other languages, music, sports, heritage, folklore and traditions, religion and spirituality.
I know what she like there. I know what you like there.
No, I don't know what I like there. If somebody tell me what I like there.
Spirituality.
Nope.
And religion.
Not that I laugh at. You know what Creole? I laugh at? Creole.
Yeah, Creole.
You know why I laugh at Creole? Can you believe that, you know, the first time I started speaking Creole is my grandmother who taught me Creole, and I was going to high school. And she, when I dressed that day going to school, in St. Joseph High School, we had a tie. And she told me, Petra, you cannot tie your cravat. I was like, I did not understand what she was saying, because she, you know, she from Grand Bay and she always speaking Creole and I can't understand nothing. She's the one who taught me Creole. And I think we are moving away so much from our tradition. Even me, I'm guilty of that. I know basic Creole and none of my children don't understand Creole, because my mother used to say, Creole is for adults to speak so that children could not understand. So they never taught us children the language of Creole. So you have a whole gap of people who do not understand the culture, the Creole culture. So I'm glad that this ministry would include Creole in it so that the young people can grow up speaking that language.
And
even writing it.
Not as a fashion, no, as a cultural way of life, meaning it will be taught at schools, not as a, because I heard a minister said the other day, some time ago, when they were introducing some Creole thing. The minister said, it's something, the name of the program is A Break for Creole. It's like a 5-minute break for Creole. No, Creole needs its own curriculum.
That's
so we'll
right.
put Creole in the schools, in the banks, in parliament, everywhere. And we will create that ministry.
Say that last one again, in where?
Parliament.
That is exactly what I was going to mention.
If you speak Creole and say no speak English, it's like a crime. No. Let people. Dominica is a bilingual society.
Mm-hmm. And I like the other language that with it as well, because then we have Kokoi, we have the indigenous language, and so we are not familiar. When the people at speak Kokoi speak, I watching them like, what you say?
Yeah, we are a multilingual society, and
yes, and so we must include our young people to understand where our culture come from different aspects, different languages.
Yeah.
So the next one will be the Ministry of Finance, Jobs, Employment, the private sector, wealth creation and investment.
You know what I love in this one too?
Wealth creation.
That's right, Mr. Charles. That's right. I do believe, listen, I believe Dominica is the richest Caribbean country. I'm
Hands
telling
down.
you,
Hands down.
I'm telling you, every time I speak to somebody in the Sanctuary, they ask me, "Oh, so why you don't go back Dominica?" Everything, oh, Dominica has this, Dominica has that. I tell them, let me tell you something. Dominica is the Eden, of the world. We just don't understand that as yet. But when people accept the fact that we have everything it takes to become, our mindset will change.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that we have it there. Wealth creation. Wealth does not just come out someone fall. You have to be
No.
intentional about building wealth.
Oh yes.
And this is what we want to give the people to you. We want you to know that you, no matter where you come from or where you start, you can have the ability, or we open ways, avenue for you to create your own wealth.
Yeah.
So traditionally, when you think of a minister of finance, all you think of is that's the person who comes at the budget debate and presents the budget for the government, and that's the person who manages the monies of government.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We wanted to take it a whole step further and have that person
The next level.
be responsible, sorry, for ensuring that we have another 10 Dominicans who become millionaires
That's
through
right.
strategic planning. If that is done within the mandate of the government, and the next time we look at right now what we have running into the sea every day, that is the
Or
next oil.
gold.
That is the next oil.
But Carlos, water is more expensive than oil. How
Yep.
much for a gallon of oil? Or let's say gas. How much for a gallon of gas? Maybe $18. How many of that? You see,
Bottles.
I never really wear brand. You see, I have no brand there, but I'm drinking bottled water. How many bottles of water do you find in a gallon of gas? Easy mathematics.
Yeah, it costs more water for the water.
Exactly. And then you add the cost of the water, which is $2.50 or whatever it is, times
Yeah.
10 or 15. It is more than the gas
Yeah.
Yeah.
already as is.
Mhm.
And we have it in a quality that is maybe 3, 4, 5 times more expensive. And we have that sweetening the sea every day. We spoke about that
And
last
then the
time.
quality of water we have in itself, just our quality of water in itself is magnificent. Because I'm telling you, the water I drink in St. Croix, not like I said, trying to bring everybody down, but it does not compare to the type of water we have in Dominica.
Well, it's a known fact. I mean, it's just in our gift, in our topography. The country is just blessed. The country is oozing with very, very, very good water. That's just one of the benefits we have. The problem is we have it wasting. It goes to the sea. Last week, what did we say? We're going to organize a pipeline to pipe water straight into
From
Antigua.
Dominica to Antigua.
And if Guadeloupe, well, Guadeloupe doesn't may not need it, but certainly
You
Antigua
know,
St. Kitts.
Guadeloupe have the water like us.
Yeah, Guadeloupe doesn't need the water the way we have it.
Yeah.
But Antigua could do with it. St. Kitts could do with
Yeah.
it. And Wheeler
St. Kitts,
could do with it.
Antigua, and we are.
So we will pipe a system into Antigua, and Antigua will be okay. We'll be fine as well because they'll give. We share bilaterally because there are
Yeah.
things in Antigua we can do with as well. We have a lot of Dominicans living there. We would have a wonderful relationship with Antigua. So wherever Dominicans are in Antigua, they're safe. We'll talk
Yeah.
about immigration. We talk about settlement of citizenship, dual citizenship. We'll create a thing with the American government that make our Dominicans in Antigua feel as if they are in Dominica.
Yeah.
So that's our plan, including the water that we're going to send, not for free, but we are going to make it available to our brothers and sisters and our fellow Caribbean colleagues. And we will do it. We will do
Exactly.
it. If we win or when we win, by the end of our first term, we will have had the pipeline going to Antigua. We will.
So the next one will be the Ministry of Trade, Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Governance, Public Workers, Unions, and Social Justice.
Yeah.
So,
We want to make sure we let the people know, hey, you have rights, and you this is where you go to speak about for your rights. So we're not just going to leave you say things and just leave you alone. No, you can, there's somebody you can reach out to look after your rights. So we have trade, like tourism, that's another heavy industry coming into Dominica. We already have a Ministry of Tourism. People say, oh, but we have those ministry already. Yes, but they do not include so much. So we're going to add on this to have less ministries, so but with more power. Ministries with more power.
Yeah.
number nine. No, we gone over an hour, but we still have three more. I guess we can.
You
We're
can
just doing the
continue.
free more. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gonna continue? I guess we could do it next time. Let people come back
No,
for
we'll
it.
just finish this page and next time we'll do the next page.
Okay, so with the next number nine, we had Ministry of Public Works, Urban and Rural Development and New Families and Community Empowerment.
Yeah.
New
Community
families catering
empowerment.
to young people who are creating families for the first time. One of the things we will do is to change the housing revolution to a housing solution.
Solution.
And most of the houses that have been occupied by,
Yeah.
we would transform. And people who need them will keep them if people graduate from them. Our idea is to have houses built on people's land, not build apartment type housing in Dominica. So if you have property,
Yeah.
the government work with you. You have a property, the aesthetics of your property will suit the land. Not, you cannot build the
Yeah.
same kind of type apartments everywhere in Dominica. So if you're building on a little gentle slope, you have a house that goes with your topography. That's what we want to do.
Yes.
And the apartments, we would use them because they would be vacant after we settle people. We would use them for new families. Let's say two young
Yeah.
people get married, they want to for the first 2 3 years, they have a lower
They
income
want to
apartment.
put a saving together. Yes, they want to save some money to have a down payment to take the small loans to do so they can pass. It's like you pass is in transit. You're not here forever. You do what you have to do and you move on to the next level. So we move you to make ensure that you graduate to the level where you independent and what you have is your own.
So it's transitional housing that
Nice.
passes to the next person, and that will be controlled by the youth development division, by our young people. They would be the ones controlling that thing. And then we would transition people out of those apartments because apartment buildings, they are cesspools for problem. Can you
Okay.
imagine 9, 10, 15 families living in the same place with young children, young girls, young boys? I mean, a lot of
I don't want to think about that.
a lot of
And different people of different background, of different, it just listen,
Different
I
procedure.
see it here in St. Croix, and I'm telling you,
do a little research on the ghettos and how those places became problem,
the
and you'll see.
poorest set of people, people control is there, they put them in housing
And that is the problem that's
to
can be
manipulate and control,
developed, and we could have
and they are
poor,
underdeveloped people. They
and
have
that is
nothing to share for themselves. When they pass on, their children are left in poverty, poorer than where they were before.
what we were trying to avoid. To give you opportunities to create your own wealth, to create your own style.
Yeah.
Putting you in an apartment and say, look, a free house is putting you in well, I don't want to say what it almost is, but we want to get people out of that.
Yeah, we
Yes,
want to
for
get
young
them to
person,
the mindset of owning
yes.
and owning. So we
And
help you along the way, we help you, and then you become your own man.
yeah. And even if we give you the apartment and says your apartment, it still does not mean much because what did I do to get a free apartment? That doesn't happen in any part of the world, not even in Saudi Arabia where they have monies galore. People don't do that. People
That's not the way they
responsibly and
operate.
respectfully put people in homes, but not the way we do it. I mean, I just saw some minister the other day talking about some more free houses for people. I mean, who really does those things?
You
All
know
right.
what I learned when I was going to school?
Nothing is free.
When you remove the need for a person to fight for the things that that is meaningful towards them, you cripple that person. We were in school and the professor said the reason why you never open a cocoon of a butterfly is because the butterfly needs that to empower its wings. If you open the cocoon of the butterfly to help the butterfly, you kill the butterfly. And I think that free, that's what it's doing to our people. It make our people weak.
But not only
When
that,
people have to say,
you kill those industries because
exactly.
And the businesses, like the shops that and the supermarkets that
And
order
the
stuff.
construction workers and these people, the locals that used
the
to
banks-
build for local people, because you as the government going to do that big bidding for big companies. Whereas before, in our time, we had a lot of local laborers and so working in the community, building house for each other. And the economy was great in the community because the money was moving from one person to the next within the community.
when you do that right now, you quaver in the. Sorry for using it that way, but I mean.
Well, you can be sorry for using Creole, my friend.
Yes, but you quaver in the financial sector.
The banks are balling.
That is why.
And you're taking away the spending power of your citizens. That's what you're doing.
So government is working anyway. So what we will do, we will create opportunities to liquidize, to incentivize the economy by having. And one of the things we will do for the housing, we will say, okay, the house is yours, government has given it to you. Let's now give you a dignified path to owning it. Let's create an opportunity for you to pay. If it could be $1 you can afford, we will take it. But you know that is your sweat that goes into it. It could be your cousin giving you the money, but it's worth it. It's better than a minister having to give you money every month. So when you would have, in a dignified way, own this thing, then it means something to you. If you cannot pay, and you really cannot pay, it's fine. But if you can do something, here is a plan for us to give you a dignified ownership of the thing. And no one now who is in a house now will be against that. Because we're not against people getting stuff. We just would do it in a more respectful, dignified way. And that is what we would do with the housing. We would win people out of it, put them on their own property with the kind of house that work with the property, use the apartments for young people who are transitioning, new families, and for gatherings, for youth groups, for things that young people do. Give them up space to express themselves. And the apartments that the government has built, the lovely apartments, we would put that in the hands of young Dominicans for exchange visits, for sports, recreation, the works, while we transition those people that have been put in there back onto their lands. One of the things we're going to do again is we're going to explore Petit Savan and observe, understand, do the work to see how the land is, if it is settled, if it is settling, what we can do there, because we can't just leave the land there barren and unattended.
Abandoned.
No, and why for people in the next 10, 15 years, 20 years to grab it? Foreign people, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So we have to wait for the people from the ancestors' land to secure it for them.
The land is worth it to have people resettle, we'll make them resettle back on their land and still let them keep the apartments that we give them, that the government give them. But that's what you have to do for your people, Petra. And that is our idea, to not to go away from what government has done, because we applaud government for building houses. But we would do it differently. We would not have a revolution. We would have a solution. And the solution would be to resettle people where they can be resettled, to create housing for people and opportunities for them to take loans at the bank. So the bank could make
interest loans, so the money can circulate in our economy and not just leave our country and go.
Exactly.
As we're on the topic of Petit Savan, and before we go to the 10th ministry, Alex, recently, some of the bailiff, I have a lot of bailiff up here. Some of that bailiff went into Petit Savan to be boiled to make bay oil,
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Petit Savan is famous for that, man. Petit Savan should be living large.
So we will replant. If it cannot be used for housing, we'll replant bailiff there
and make it a
market.
But that's expensive. That is an expensive
It's
commodity.
expensive oil, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. And we would make sure we put it in the trust for the people, and the T7 people would benefit from that industry.
Yeah.
No other
Exactly.
foreign entity. T7 people. And that is a plan that we have. God willing, we get in office, the T7 people will be flourishing. It will be a very rich community. We have plans for the Kalinago territory as well in terms of housing and infrastructure. But we will get to that sometime later on.
So the 10th ministry will be the ministry of heroes, pioneers, and seniors, citizens at risk, regional and international relations. Petra,
Nobody left behind.
You see how much thought that went into the creation of those 11.
Yes. Nobody left behind. We dealt with the youth, and now we're dealing with our what they call them, wisdom people of wisdom.
Right. You have to deal with the elders.
Yes, people of wisdom. We're going to use their minds to ensure that the young people learn from them. So we have them well covered.
And the 11th ministry was the Prime Minister and Minister of Broadcasting Technologies, Communications, National Defense, National Spirit, Treaties, Foreign Policy, Protocol, and that's for me, man. And the Mopless.
Dream on.
I think we make that ministry just for you, Mr.
Dream on,
Charles.
Carlos. Dream on.
But yes, our 11 ministries were well thought of. We took our time to put it together, and I do hope that we will be afforded the opportunity to present that to the Dominican populace at the next opportunity available.
And the next opportunity present itself.
Yes.
Well, that was lovely. I think most people were not aware of the ministries that Team Unity had placed in the manifesto. But tonight, a lot of people who are viewing now and those who will view in the future will understand better what Team Unity is bringing to the table and what we want to be given the chance to represent Dominica and what level we want to represent Dominica with the ministries that we present to our Dominican people.
Yeah. All we need is some time to develop. And we have never really developed it the way we do it now, Petra. I think that was your idea, to go into the manifesto. And I applaud you for that. But we had never taken the time to present this because we had no time. It was 2 months election call. We put that out maybe in 2-3 weeks, and that was it. So we never really spent the time as you have asked us to now do to look at the manifesto. So I'm happy that we're doing that. I know the Prime Minister has a manner of calling snap elections. I tell him we're not busy. Dominica, there are people who believe that we should be busy about everything. We're not busy. Dominica is not going to go anywhere. People might leave, but Dominica is there forever. We have to plan properly. So, Mr. Prime Minister, give us a chance to develop our program, to raise money, to be able to take you out of office, because we want to take you out of office. The way you call an election quick does not give us a fair chance. So please, sir, allow us the chance to develop properly so we can beat you, because you cannot be in office forever, and you should not want to be in office forever. So the kind of NAJC where you call in the election, it bothers us. Give us some chance so we can present our program, get all our candidates, give us a fair fight, and I guarantee you, if we have a fair fight,
exactly, give us a fair fight
and if we have a fair
fight, then we can say yes.
Yeah, if we lose us after a fair fight, we agree. But that calling election 2 months after we were formed there and threatening to call it again, no one was there, is not good, man. Give us a chance to beat you.
He don't want to get a holy like that.
But I mean, I understand him too, but we have to plead. We have to ask him.
Because in his defense, he is thinking about himself. I'm just telling you, in his defense, he's thinking about himself. I don't think he's sitting there saying, I want to let Team Unity really grow and mature so that they
In
could
which,
come and fight me.
in which
He said, let me keep them down while they're small.
Of course, kill them while they're young. Don't let them grow.
the man called that in 2 months on us. Bam, when Carlos said Alex election, I said, Bondry.
And
What
he
we going?
almost called it again this year, but I guess he had a change of heart.
Yeah, I think things work out for him the way he wanted. So I think we might
He
have a
said,
long
okay,
walk.
give me a chance now for me to develop myself.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
But
people, it's quarter past the hour of I think of what's the time? 9 o'clock.
wow, already.
Yes, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. But Dominicans, we are here. We embrace everybody. If, like I always say, if you know somebody in your community that wants progress, that wants development, we call you, send their names to us, and we will get to them. We will speak to them to see how they can be of an asset to the TUD team, because we want everybody in Dominica who are capable to be on board with Team Unity, because we want to move the Dominica to the next level. And Mr. Charles has his number on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on Facebook, you can follow us on our YouTube pages, and
Twitter,
you could just
we
reach
have
out to
Twitter,
us.
we have TikTok, everything.
Yeah. So once again, we want to just thank everybody for spending your hour with us. We know after work you just want to go to sleep and do what you have to do, but we thank you for taking your time to just understanding and try helping us to being part of our team. You see our manifesto. If you want to continue reading on your own, you can have a look at it in our Facebook page, right, Mr. Charles?
Yes, it'll be there available for persons to view it. As a matter of fact, I was just
Yeah,
looking
put
at
that up, yeah. So when they go to it now, don't go and
Yes,
do like
and
a party.
if you are not able to print, and you want one of us to print a copy for you, reach out to us, and we will have a copy printed for you as well.
And autograph it and send it to you. We will certainly do that for you. So
Yes, we
Carlos,
will.
please make sure,
We will not do like the others and say it online and it never there.
Carlos, before midnight, make sure that the manifesto is available. Because I had experienced that in the past, where a party promises and it wasn't there. Make sure, Carlos.
I remember
In fact,
I had gone to look for it. I didn't get it yet.
man, I'll give you the story
But
how that
anyway,
after when we get off air, I'll give you the story, Petra, how that happened.
yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. We hope that you understand the plans of Team Unity, and in doing so that you want to jump on board with us, because we are a unified body, and you see how we react with one another on stage, on live. That's how we are at the back as well. Yes, and we give each other blows, but we do it in a closed environment. So, but we have fun when we're together with you. So we thank you for viewing with us tonight. See you next week when we continue to explore our manifesto that was presented in 2022.
There is nothing which is wrong with the country that a new government cannot fix. It is time for a new start, a fresh beginning, new direction, people-centered leadership. That's why Team Unity Dominica introduces the Clean Slate, a new political direction for the current political era. The Clean Slate, an idea built on new and progressive energies based on what is best for Dominica and Dominicans. The Clean Slate, the platform for a new and progressive political coalition. The Clean Slate, uniting the partisan colors with a message of renewal and hope.